welcome to another late episode of Behind Enemy Lines with Terry and Mike Lauber. How are you? We're always late, all right? So, like when
It's
you
a
hear 7 o'clock,
it's a struggle sometimes, you know.
yeah, too much stuff going on. So,
Yeah, exactly.
we got a really interesting show with footage that's not been seen. The mainstream media doesn't really publish this stuff, right? They don't want to expose what's going on. So we have some behind the scenes images that I acquired at last week's. There was the No Kings event that was last Saturday, but then there was also a trial run they did on Tuesday, and that's where I was dressed up in black, and I was the 63-year-old Antifa guy walking with the crowds and got some good video, including damaging of Tesla, vandalizing it, knifing it, throwing brick through the window. There's also vandalized squad cars, the federal building. We've got so a lot of these bad anarchists or players are the same ones that are creating havoc all over the country and especially in Chicago. So we got videos of some of the other events that I attended with Black Lives Matter. It's kind of funny. I had a confrontation with them a few years back at I think it was at Dayleaf Center or something like that. And Antifa BLM said they were going to come and disrupt the parents' small business event. So we were there. There's another video I think from Arrigo Park, Little Italy, where we were doing a rally for our Columbus Day statue, and those weasels showed up. Jeremy Hammond, he's a piece of shit. Antifa punk, got 11 years in prison for being a member of Anonymous and a hacker. Him and his twin brother are probably the lead, not probably, they are the lead Chicago organizers of Antifa. We got the BLM guys in there. Jeremy Hammond's a national figure. He's been in documentary. The guy's like, I just saw him, but you're going to see a video of him. He looks like he's 160 pounds. He's a big mouth, arrogant punk. Gives everybody the finger. So we got videos of that weasel. What else, Mike?
I'm grabbing your black block dress up here real quick for the audience.
Yeah, Grandpa. I was the Grandpa Antifa. And that's how I was able to get some good pictures. I was loaded up with bear spray. In case you don't know what that is, I can't fight as well as I used to, and I can't run. I can't run as fast as I used to. So, and I can't carry a gun, nor that I want to carry a gun. And so I'm in the middle of God. There was 5,000 of them. There was 5,000 of them on a Tuesday night, and I was told by CPD on Saturday there was over 15,000 of them. And we got video of the beginning when they started walking through. Did you find that? You just throw it up when I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to load right now. I'm having issues with it, so I'll pull it up here as soon as it works.
So, in the beginning, where they gathered by Grant Park, and they were going from the lake westbound on to Michigan Avenue to go north. And I have a video. I think Mike has it somewhere in there. But this crowd of 5,000, they were telling them to divide. The one go on the northbound, while the other one's on the southbound of Michigan Avenue. And then later, as the night moved on, there's Grandpa Antifa. All they got to do is look at my eyes and know I'm not a young Antifa guy.
Well, compared to some of the ones that showed up in Portland and Seattle, you're young. Same with Florida. They were literally pushing people out. So Andrew, one of our other hosts on here, he hosts American Made on the weekends. He works with Alex Newman. So he went to a couple of these that were in the area in Florida near where he lives. I don't think he wants that disclosed. But yeah, it was like a geriatric festival. It was people in wheelchairs and hover rounds.
Yeah, and that was like it here. But I'm talking about the Antifa weasels. Even even at my age like that, I could take 3 Antifas on. I'll get hurt, but I can still take 3 of them on. They're like 165 pounds.
Yeah, just toss them to the ground.
Yeah. So it was a long ass day. Oh my God, my knee replacement, my knees. Grandpa was like, I needed to put my Depends on. It was pretty messed up, but I got really good videos that we're going to show you guys, and I'm glad because the mainstream media is not showing some of them. And then Mike is going to talk about some of the funding sources, right?
Yeah, we got that pulled up.
Yeah, here you go. Look at this guy. Oh, boom. Look at that pencil. Like that street sign he used to make into a shield. And that to the right there was a federal building. And you know what? I thought it was really, and I talked to Chicago police at the same time. That Tesla, I bet you it was a rental that they got and probably got extra insurance on or something. They had to be planted there. Somebody put it there on purpose. There is no way that at that time of night there's going to be a Tesla in front of the federal building that was a main target for the whole event. And it just happened to be sitting there. That had to be staged by somebody from the left. If not, I don't think the Antifa guys are that sophisticated, but somebody on the left put that vehicle there and used that as a trigger point to start vandalizing. And then across the street there, that building was spray painted, all kinds of stuff. Oh, this here, that's Jeremy Hammond right there. Can we hear the audio on that or no? Is it?
Yeah, I can bring it. Yeah, I can bring that back up.
It's that piece of shit. Look at the American flags upside down. This guy's a piece of shit punk, pencil neck from Chicago. He was from Glenbard.
Mask on.
They're kind of messing with Proud Boy right now.
Huh?
They're kind of messing with Proud Boy.
Where? We got American flags right here. Look at the mask on.
She's nervous too.
You point people out?
Fuck you, MAGA. I hope Trump dies, but I hope you too.
You're gonna die too. You undiagnosed piece of shit. You undiagnosed piece of shit.
What you trying to do? Okay. Yeah.
Pussy, you can't even show your face. You pussy. You fucking pussy. You can't even show your face.
Look at them right here.
Hey, you friends with Proud Boys? Hey, MAGA, you friends with Proud Boys? Flip Chicago Red?
You can't even show your
You
face.
friends with Proud Boys?
You fucking pussy.
Hey, you friends with Proud
You
Boys?
fucking pussy.
Fuck you, MAGA.
You fucking pussy.
Trump's gonna die.
You fucking
still
pussy.
does.
Okay, he just threatened Trump. Trump, you watching? He just threatened you. He just threatened you, Trump.
Look at that.
Yup.
Turn Chicago Red. Two of our girls from Chicago Red were there. That was their fit. That was their video. So that is Jeremy Hammond. That is the main Chicago Antifa guy.
We got one more video of him. You want to go ahead and roll that?
I'm vulgar here, but I take shits bigger than that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is your body camera on? Oh, good.
So did you guys notice? And Mike, did you hear how he said you got your body camera on like he's a badass, right?
Yeah.
You know why? I'll tell you why that he's saying that for two reasons. One, he wants to make sure his ass is safe from the police with their body cameras on. Two, if they're not on, guys like me will beat the fuck out of them. Sorry,
Yep.
I swore again. Sorry, sponsors. And then one more before we stop to talk. You got the other one where he said, "F you, Terry Newsom." It was like towards the bottom. It was one of the last ones at the same event.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll pull it up.
So just so you know, I had my face covered. It was during COVID. I had my son's. Swear to God, I forgot to send him the mask. I had my son's Chewbacca mask. This is 3 years ago. You just barely see my eyes. I was in a full Carhartt one piece. It was freezing that day. And that dork that was saying you got the body camera on, you're going to see him looking at me, right? And then
All right.
I looked.
Are you with this group or that group?
Oh, sorry. Is that the wrong video?
Okay, you can leave it. That's the cops. I want to know if I was with Antifa.
Are you with this group or that group? You're not in the middle? Are you with?
I'm like, huh? What's that? Me with Antifa? I didn't even look like close. I wasn't even undercover. I was in my Carhartt. So in this next one, Mike, if you're looking for it, that guy that was saying about the body cam, you got it on. He was looking at me and did a little peace thing, like a little faggot that he is. And then I looked to the left, and even as dressed up as I am, Jeremy Hammond knew with my Chewbacca mask on, with just my little eyes. You must have saw my old man wrinkle eyes or something. And you'll see he goes, "F you, Terry Newsom. We know that's you." And I said something really, really vulgar back to him. And then I just said, "Screw it." I took my Chewbacca mask off.
Huh.
And then you'll see my camera go down. I turned it off as I was going towards them, and two big Chicago cops, like you saw, they got in front of me. They're like, "Dude, it's not worth it." I was like so mad, like, "Screw you." I was going to go smack them in front of the cops.
All right, is that this video?
Yeah.
There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah, Terry Newsom, we see your fucking ass.
Eat my ass.
I told him to eat my ass, and then the camera went off. And he said, "That's you, Terry Newsom." I don't know how the hell. I mean, maybe it's my Joe Biden legs and my belly and my old man eyes. I have no idea how he knew it was me, because there was a bunch of.
It's probably their Fed handlers. They probably told them.
Yeah. So that was another event a few years ago. These are all the same scumbags. These guys were at the DNC. He got arrested at the DNC. After he got out of prison, get this, he hacked federal contractors and got it with Anonymous. It's in the Rolling Stones. For those of you who want to look it up, Rolling Stones magazine, Jeremy Hammond, that piece of shit, was part of Anonymous, big international known hacking. And then he got 11 years in federal prison. And then when he got out, a liberal judge, let him off early on work release or whatever, parole, because he was a good citizen. Swear to God. And then he got arrested again while he was already off of that for some other vandalism. And it was just in a news story. And then he got arrested at the DNC conference again for spray painting the Antifa logo on a squad car. And then you guys, we have pictures of the squad cars that were painted before I got to them.
Yeah.
On last Tuesday, and he was there. I don't know if it was him or not. They had so many people, and I can't believe CPD left their squads, there in the street, and they spray painted them with all, pig, CPD, all that kind of stupid shit. Yeah, there you go. That probably wasn't him, because he would have put his Antifa shit on there,
Yeah.
And it's funny how the Democrats say that Antifa is not a real thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's there was a number of squads. I just sent Mike a couple. I mean, you guys get the flavor of what it is. So before we show some more of the pictures, Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about the funding mechanisms, right? And it's the same NGOs that are destroying America, giving money to the Venezuelans.
Yep. Yeah, I'll pull this up here real quick. But yeah, guys, this comes from their website, from the No Kings website under their partner section. So this is who finance it. It's over 200 entities from the ACLU and the American Humanist Association, Tax Fairness, Bernie Sanders Campaign, Americans United, Black Voters Matter, Blue Wave America, Catholics Vote Common Good, Color of Change. Like, most of these are kind of expected. The Climate Psychology Alliance. So I guess that's for crazy people that want to stop using oil.
Wait, stop. I thought I saw a logo that says Friends of Joe Severino gubernatorial race.
Yeah, that's probably on here too. It's probably a little further down.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. You're from Illinois.
Families Over Billionaires, Federalist Union Network, which I guess they call themselves Fun, Free DC, Free Press Action. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the usual ones.
Indivisible's like, they're big over here. Indivisible, they're all over the country. They have the chapters everywhere. I'm on their emailing list. They're raising money big time. They're doing matching, I guess, in the month of June.
Yeah, apparently. We got federal workers against Doge. Yeah, Indivisible, East Bay's on here, Indivisible, and Indivisible Evanston, and Frederick, Maryland, apparently. We'll pull some of the other big ones on here.
Patriotic millionaires, scumbags.
Yeah. Planned Parenthood, of course.
Yeah, with our tax dollars.
Yeah, and I think this is GLAAD or one of those type organizations.
SEIU? That's a scumbag piece of shit. Sierra Club?
Yep. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the Sierra Club's doing. And I thought they were here to save animals. What are they doing sponsoring this shit? Tax greedy billionaires, the Seneca Project. I mean, it's huge. Vote Save America, Working Families Power, Women Forward, Wisconsin conservative or conservation voters. But yeah, I mean, this is how they're able to get out to 1,500 cities, is they basically are corporately financed. Not to mention all the USAID money and direct money from Soros and whoever else. But at least they're actually like looking into this now. But again, this is corporate financed revolution. It's all fake.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then Mayor Brandon Johnson was telling people to hit the streets as well, right? The mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
And Pritzker, BJ Pritzker, he, I'm sure some of the monies that he sends to NGOs was behind that. I mean, it was sort of a fad for radical leftists. It was like a fad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is they are starting to crack down on this stuff. The feds are going to be using using the IRS to track down where the funding came from, and they are going to be prosecuting them, which is good. I mean, hopefully they get some of the people at the top that really made this stuff possible, but just putting some pressure on some of these billionaires like Soros and this other Chinese billionaire, I'm blanking on his name right now, but just putting some pressure on them. Let them know they're under the microscope, maybe enough to get some of this stuff to back off. But I don't think they got the turnout they wanted. Like I said, I was expecting Chicago to be burning Saturday.
I predicted it, and I was wrong. I predicted it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was talking about it too. We brought it up. I figured in LA, Chicago, New York, probably Baltimore, and maybe a few other cities that we'd see major action. Well, and then we kind of did. I mean, you had some of their peacekeepers go murder somebody in the crowd in Salt Lake City, and believe it or not, they charged one of the people that got shot at, not the person that pulled the trigger, which I still haven't figured that out. But I mean, we did see some violence. We did see some businesses looted and burned, but not to the level everybody was expecting. Like around here, it rained and nobody showed up. Earlier in the day, they had maybe 200 people show up in Mason, a suburb of Cincinnati. But even then, it was all old people, and it wasn't the crowd they were looking for. And that's why you're not seeing that much about it. They'll show you a few videos here and there. They won't show you any of the violence on the mainstream media. But what they're not talking about is the level of disappointment. They canceled these events in a lot of states because nobody signed up for them.
Yeah, and when I was by that squad car, so I let everybody. There's a video in the beginning, like I think it's a minute and a half. So I stood right in the middle of those dirt bags as they walked through me, and then I waited till the whole group went through. Then I kind of tagged along from the back end of them. And that's where I came across the squads after they already went past all the squads that were painted as So I'm taking pictures of them as the group progressed forward, and then there was a French guy, and he was politely calling out these other leftist little idiots that were making signs on the sidewalk. They're creating signs for protesters,
like kindergartners.
Yeah, and he looks at me and he's like, I don't believe these people with his French accent. I interviewed him. I forgot to send that to you, but he's a police officer, in Europe, and he's just shocked. He's there on vacation. He's like, what's wrong with these Americans? They don't know how lucky they are to be here, And it's funny, is like every time I take an Uber, I would always ask the foreigners, like, where are you from? And sometimes they're hesitant. And the reason I ask them that is every foreigner, except a couple of Muslim Arabs, quickly say they love America, and they talk about America. They have families and stuff. And then we got these lily white pencil neck pricks like Jeremy Hammond.
Yeah.
Oh, his dad, pedophile, by the way. Jeremy Jason Hammond's dad, a pedophile, a real pedophile, not a fake Severino pedophile, a real pedophile. He went to jail for it. And you got those pencil necks here that are he's from Glenbard, right? And lucky to be in America, and they're complaining about it. And we got all these foreigners, legal ones, that came into the United States that are, working, that are so honored to be here. I don't know if anyone saw Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about it today.
Yeah.
You see that? It was great. He kind of did a 180 on those idiots, saying
they about lost their minds because again, it's common sense. All he said is, you're a guest in this country, you need to be behaving appropriately. And you know, again, before he lost his mind after being governor of California, he used to have some common sense on this. He used to talk about, you know, he came in as a bodybuilder originally. He started I think it was a construction business for a while, hired other guys he worked with. But, you know, he came here to live the American dream. He didn't come here to cause problems and mooch off the government. Obviously, we saw that turned out with his career in Hollywood and everything else. But you know, nothing was handed to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He worked hard to get where he is, and he definitely got to shout him out for that, even though some of his other views are insane. But it was good to see him actually say the truth and not just cater to the harpies on The View.
Yeah, it's crazy. I before you put this next video up, I want to tee it up because I had like 60,000 views on Twitter, right? And then I had a couple of Republicans on our side, leftists, calling me out and stuff. But I got to tee this up before I show up because I could kind of understand why they misunderstood the video, the one from Naperville in the wheelchair, Mike.
Got it.
Let me tee it up first, right? So my buddy Beavis from Law Guns, he's in a lawsuit. He was fighting for the semi-automatic weapons Supreme Court, right? Naperville wouldn't allow him to sell. He still can't sell them, right? So he was contacted by the ATF and Naperville police that he was a target of vandalism. And Shane and Mike and my MAGA buddies were going out there to protect his event. It was I think the No King's Day in Naperville started from 10 to 11. And I didn't think there's going to be any violence that early in the day. The weasels come out at night, right? They come out at night.
Yeah, they don't get up before noon.
I still went there. I wanted to see the guys. And then I was going to go home, take my old man nap, and go out as Antifa again. So as I was driving there, I was following my GPS, and then I was on the south side of the river. And for those of you from Naperville, and a massive group in the parking lot. So later they said it was 2,500, lily white suburban scumbags all around my age, so I'm driving by and I'm like, oh shit. I look to the right. And so I roll the window down and I start filming after I went halfway past the crowd, and I'm filming and I caught the red light. So I'm filming out the window and I just shout out scumbags, to the whole group. I didn't yell to anybody specifically. So all the leftists said I was yelling at the lady in the wheelchair. She wasn't even facing me. I wasn't yelling at her. I was just yelling at the group, which was kind of thinning out because they were along the sidewalk as I got closer as I was going to go past them at the red light.
Sure.
And then her husband, boyfriend, whatever, he turns around. And when you listen to the video, you'll hear him say, fuck you to me, but it was low because he was outside. And then I went off on him and I made a couple rude comments to him, but he deserved it. So keep this into context. How many of you guys, especially my MAGA buddies or anybody that goes to events, I'm called Nazis, racist, homophobe. They yell at us, they swear at us, they throw stuff at us. Even at the MAGA event that I went to later that evening with my buddies, people would go by and yell and swear at us. Some of them were even calling the police. We were in an overpass event there on Willow Springs Road, and they were lying and saying that we're throwing bricks off the bridge, right? So that's the harassment we go to, right? We go through all the time. And I do it one time, and you got these leftist bitches whining about it. All I did was say scumbags, and I wasn't yelling at the lady in the wheelchair. Her husband wants to play tough guy with me and turn around and say, fuck you to me. Well, I responded in a Terry Newsom way. And so I wanted to tee it up just so you guys understand the context before you see it, because I do kind of understand how it could be taken out of context a little bit. Right, Mike?
All right. Oh, yeah. Well, let's roll it.
I mean, they are, but he's
wow. Red light. Scumbags. Bunch of Marxists. Fuck you, you pencil neck bitch. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. What are you gonna do, pencil neck? You wanna be in a wheelchair too? Fucking bitch. Here comes another pencil neck.
Hi. You're on camera too.
Yeah, good. Good. I should have spit on him.
Terrence. Nice to meet you, Terrence.
Just look me up. I'm all over the internet. bunch of old fuckers. Look at that. Wheelchairs, walkers.
Marxist.
Exactly. It's a geriatric parade.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the video.
Well, I think that's why you're not seeing the coverage from this by the media. If they show this, again, the secret's out. They want to pretend this is like a youth uprising with the Antifa crowd. Yeah, some of it is, but even a lot of them, they're just joining in to loot and steal.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, I went to the gun shop, and his shop was Law's Gun Supply, Naperville, and his shop was robbed once. I guess some ghetto guys came in with a stolen car, drove through the front window, and stole guns. After and they left, they couldn't get the car out of the building. All the idiots got caught. I think Robert said one of them got 10 years. So now he has these like metal bars in his windows, and he has those concrete dividers that were in front. And then Shane and my buddy Shane and Mike said they thought a couple people were coming by scouting it. Obviously, it must have been serious enough for the ATF to call them, let alone the Naperville police. There must have been a reason why they called. There must be some kind of surveillance that they're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's a popular way to like rob gun shops. Like I knew a guy in Orlando. They did the same thing to his store on Orange Avenue while I lived down there. They backed a car through the stolen car, backed that through the front of the shop, came in, and then tried to steal everything they could. But at least when they did that, most of his inventory was in a bunch of safes in the back. They used to empty the displays at the end of the day every day. So all they got were a few things that were up on the wall, stuff like that. None of the good stuff they were looking for, though, luckily.
Yeah. So after I left that, I have friends from the Chicago Police Department that were working. The police had to work 12-hour shifts because of the expected crowd and all the violence that they were expecting, and everybody was expecting it.
Yeah.
So I went and saw my MAGA buddies, and then I was calling my police friends to see, hey, if I'm going to drive down there and make sure there's some chaos going on, because otherwise I didn't want to go down there. I got some pretty cool pictures on Tuesday. And they kept saying, no, we're not hearing anything. I'm like, you're kidding me. I mean, it's a good thing, right? And I said, well, because he was called to the beach downtown. There was a gang shooting that occurred, and he was called down there. And I said, well, is there stuff going on, in the city that you don't know about? And he goes, no, if there's anyone that we're supposed to watch, we'll be told on the camera, and we'll be watching them. He said, there was over 15,000. And then when I spoke to him, God, I don't know. When I went by those guys, maybe 8 o'clock, there was only 200. And
yeah. I think they were exaggerating numbers everywhere, but even like 15,000 in a city of the size of Chicago has got to be a disappointment if you're a Democrat. They wanted hundreds of thousands of people on the street, and that didn't happen anywhere, even LA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I called them again, and nothing was going on. So I went, hung out over overpass, and then my buddy Mickey, my other Italian buddy, came, and then we went to Cicero. We had some pizza and a couple drinks. I haven't been to Cicero in I haven't been there in 30 years, since I was a bad guy. And God, that has changed. We're the only Italian guys in the pizza place. And then we went to a bar, and we were the only Italian guys in the bar in Cicero. But I knew it changed a long time ago, but it was good to go back to the old stomping grounds and have a drink there.
Oh yeah.
So nothing happened. I still don't know why. I know, the stuff, and I saw what they were doing, and I really think they were gearing up on Tuesday. And the way the police officers told me, and I was talking to, they had 5,000 of them, but then they went, as they marched, they went by Trump Tower, but then they dispersed. So I was trying to follow them after I left the squad cars, after they were, graffiti. And I asked the cop, I'm like, where are they? And he goes, everywhere. And then I said, listen, I thought he was being a smart ass to me because, I was dressed in all black. I go, listen, I'm with you. I said, I know so-and-so. I'm not going to say his name, guy. And he's like, oh, I know him. I go, I'm not one of them. I'm with you. He goes, yeah. He goes, they're everywhere. I go, what do you mean? He goes, they broke up into 4 groups. So that was some kind of tactical plan. And the police were understaffed as it was. So think about it. They planned to watch one big group, right?
Yeah.
Perimeters and stuff. And then what happened is when they broke up into 4 groups, that really thinned out the herd of the police officers. So when I was in front of that federal building, there was cops on the north side of us, but there was none on the south side at the intersection. They were blocking and spray painting and damaging the car because they didn't have enough. Later, after the alarm went off on the Tesla, then officers started coming around the front end, so they had them, on both sides of this.
And I think we got the video of them moving apart. So let's roll this one. So that's where they're splitting them up.
Yeah. Oh my God! And then like that helicopter flying overhead like that gave me PTSD. Except I had 2 of them when I got arrested by the feds down in South Florida. It's like I kept like looking, like shaking and stuff, thinking I was like 30 years ago.
Made you flash back to a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the police were definitely understaffed, but I mean, they're lucky they didn't have more go on there or anywhere else for that matter. But I think that's the plan, and I'm not sure what stopped them.
Something stopped them, right?
Oh yeah.
I think you said, Mike, about Minnesota. Why don't you pick up on that? Maybe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if this was it or not, but yeah, if you guys remember Saturday mornings when the story started to really break with this Democrat assassin, this guy Tim Walz appointed to the board or whatever, and apparently his wife interned for Tim Walz as well, and then was also appointed to the board or something else by Tim Walz. So there's a deep connection there. Don't believe this crazy roommate that apparently didn't know anything about him, didn't know he was involved in politics or whatever, that all of a sudden said, he listened to like some right-wing podcasters, Joe Rogan and whoever. But yeah, this guy, he actually tried to kill 4 different Democrats, all ones that left. What's that?
Is it a bad thing?
Well, we probably don't want to escalate things that far. At least not yet. But yeah, he showed up at 2 of their houses with this mask on, shot and killed one couple, and then shot and wounded another couple, the Democrat elected rep and then their spouse. But yeah, I wonder if that kind of put a damper on things because, initially they tried to spin it like this guy was some kind of right-wing activist, but Tim Walz came out immediately, said it was political violence, kind of insinuating that was the case. But it didn't take long for the truth to break that this guy was driving around in a fake police car. He had a bunch of the No Kings flyers, and he was targeting Democrats that voted with the Republicans to end, Medicaid benefits for illegal aliens that are in Minnesota because the state's going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Man, those guys are so whack job, so nutty. He had that rubber silicone mask on. I'm surprised that Jamal didn't have like a Donald Trump silicone mask. They're so crazy. They were absolutely trying to make him think it was a Republican and a right-wing cop or something. And thank God it unfolded quickly.
Yeah.
That's the way it happened. Otherwise, the riots really would have went off. You know what I mean? If they thought it was a right-winger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if they thought it was some Trump supporter or whatever else, we would have had blood in the streets. It wouldn't have ended. And we'd still be hearing about it now, and the media would be pretending it was justified, that they're getting violent. Well, I mean, that's what they did during the BLM riots. It was all for racial justice. Didn't matter that they're destroying and burning down their own cities, their own neighborhoods. They pretend
wait, hold on a minute. Was that a Democrat with a speech impediment?
Yeah, that's my usual, it's all about racial justice. You got to throw the spit lisp in there.
You're making fun of handicapped people. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I do that sometimes, and some of them have it coming. Well, and that's what happens though with these leftists. You get a bunch of dysgenic mutants that show up. Yeah, you're bound to have a bunch of them with handicaps, but then they, use that as a defense. It's never about what they do. They'll say, "Oh no, how dare you make fun of me? I'm handicapped." Well, we're not making fun of you because you're handicapped. We're making fun of you because you're a communist retard.
What, like this one?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I do think he was making fun of the guy out though, by the way. I do.
Maybe. We got another one of these videos with the F Ice chant.
Okay, go ahead.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys?
They were definitely hoping for bigger crowds.
Did you see that sign looking for missing kids this hard? They're your kids, so why don't you look for them, bitch? Sorry.
Yeah, or
It's
maybe
like,
they can.
You guys are sending them across the border without parents, and it's going to be our fault.
Well, and right now they're trying to get the 300,000 kids Biden lost located. You've got Democrats blocking that from happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see what else. Do you have? Did I send you a Rigo Park? Did I send you anything from Little Italy, Rigo Park? So we got our little pencil neck, the Hammond brothers. Again, just showing you some of the same scumbags are at the root of all these organizations that are, I think they're like the quarterbacks. No matter what happens in Chicago and the DNC, this a few years ago, probably everybody saw in Grant Park when the Columbus statue, when there was like 125 police officers hurt, they had the little black umbrellas. You guys remember that? A year after that in Arrigo Park in Little Italy, we are having a rally to get our statue back. I'm a member of the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans. I can't believe I remember that. And and they've been fighting very hard to get the statue back, right? And 100 years ago, the Italian American community from Little Italy area used pocket change to buy that statue and have an artist in Italy send it back to the United States and put it on a park district. And so Lori Lightfoot, that troll pig, took all the statues down. They put them in storage. So the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans and attorneys have been fighting the city to get it back from the Park District, which was, when I say ours, the Italian American community. And so there was flyers put up in Little Italy, and then Jeremy Hammond took one of the flyers and said, and I think I put that in there. Maybe I didn't.
Let me see.
Arrigo Park, ARRIGO.
Well, I have an old BLM video that you sent. Is that it?
No, we'll do that next, though. Oh, that's a good one. So anyway, the same scumbags that are organizing all this stuff said they're going to come and beat up the racist Parmesan eating Italians.
They know how to pick their fights.
Yeah, they're all old Italians. Young kids don't get involved. So I guess I forgot to send you these videos. It's funny. I had 60 Proud Boys show up from Minnesota, Wisconsin, Tennessee. Medic came in from Boston. We were expecting a big group like they did the year before when they took, they hurt 125 cops, right? So we were expecting the same thing. So Jeremy Hammond and his pencil neck twin brothers showed up with about 20 people. 20, maybe they had stuff. They're running out of money. Who knows? And they showed up with 20 people, and they're yelling and screaming at the cops in their black little mask and their little drums and stuff, and calling the cops pigs. And there was one Proud Boy from Southern Illinois. He's like, you calling the cops pigs? They're the only ones keeping you MFers alive because they couldn't get them. So it's all the same scumbags, and those guys are getting money from Soros and the Democrats. They are full-time anarchists. Anarchists. So we're going to go to the next video. Again, about 3 years ago, we had different events at the Thompson Center, Daly Center. And one, I think, if I remember correctly, this one was like to reopen Illinois for small businesses in our children's schools when they were locked in. So the Hammond brothers and BLM, they said they're going to come and disrupt the event. So I went back there with my Proud Boy buddies, and there was probably 50 of us, but we had like a perimeter. A lot of those guys are ex-cops too, or ex-military, and you got ex-goofball from the South Side. And I'm on the east side, and I see this black little SUV, these guys in it. I'm like looking from a distance, and it's BLM. And then the guy had one of those big, long telescopic lenses. What they do is they'll try to take all our pictures and use facial recognition scanning, which you're going to have that, right? Did I send you that too after we're done?
Yeah, I've got that one.
So we do the same thing. I don't want to mention my buddy's name. There he is. Look at that. So this guy, I got his picture. My friend, and I'm not going to say his name unless he gives me permission to do it, big IT security guy, and he has this app and stuff, and he runs it. And this scumbag piece of shit, show him his record. There he is. Aggravated, let's see, he had armor-piercing bullets, metal-piercing bullets, weed. Actually, I guess my old record's worse than his.
I wonder if he actually had armor-piercing ammunition, because that's not easy to get a hold of for a handgun.
Yeah, so this Black Lives Matter guys were there, and they're taking pictures, and then they go back and they share the pictures of everyone. Oh, and this is another Black Lives Matter. So I said this to Ben. This guy was at last Tuesday. He was on a scooter. He was on one of those electric scooters, and he had LED lights and a little megaphone. And now I know why he was on a scooter. I saw him, and I knew it was him. He was the same guy that we had a little run-in, me and Ben. And I forgot to send that to you at the DNC. He's one of the BLM leaders. So these same scumbags in Chicago are involved in the same stuff over and over again. They're all getting money. You know, they're being protected, not by the police. Well, they're being, the police don't like them, but the higher ups, the mayor, you know, some of the politicians are protecting these scumbags, asses.
Yeah,
but,
they need their foot soldiers. They need their useful idiots.
So I saw these guys taking our pictures, and I walked up to them. You want to show the video? It's kind of funny. So
yeah, let me pull that.
I didn't even get the other guys. I just went up to myself, and they don't know who's carrying a gun or whatever, you know?
Yeah. All right. Let's roll this real quick.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great.
How you doing? Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. We're just checking on you. Just making sure you're all cool. Making sure you're cool.
I got his license plate. I read it. Oak Lawn. Those are my friends from Oak Lawn High School. Oak Lawn.
Everything well with you?
Everything's good.
Everything well with you, man? Me too.
What was that? Sorry.
On this back license plate had Oak Lawn. You know, he bought it from a day. I used to work at Hawkinson Ford in Oak Lawn. A lot of my friends from Oak Lawn High School are watching this, or Nancy Gallo. Used to know John Hancock, cousin of mine. Used to date her friend, Dawn. She's watching.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, it's funny too. You know, they want to go around, take your pictures. They want to intimidate you. The minute you guys do it, they're freaking out. You can see how wide the guy's eyes got as soon as he realized he's being recorded and that you went and got his license plate number.
Yeah. And so we have to do more of that. I'm like, I am the only one in Illinois doing that, right? And some of the establishment says, "Oh, he's radical and stuff." We got to fight back. You know, there's a reason why. There's a reason why the Democrat politicians are pretending there's no such thing as Antifa, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because they want them, because they know they're their foot soldiers that intimidate our side. People are scared to go to rallies. Lots of them are scared, right? And why do they try to go after the Proud Boys so much? Because the Proud Boys counter these scumbags, right? And they started getting successful at it until the January 6th bullshit that they were blamed for, because they would show up. They say, you know, the media paints them as racist, homophobes, violent. They got gay people in there. The head guy was African and Puerto Rican. The guy that ran Illinois was from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
There was a gay guy in Illinois. All of it's lies. And when they say they're violent, it's only when the left comes and Antifa, who comes to our events and tries to start shit, which we just showed you plenty of examples of, right? And then when the Proud Boys beat their ass, then the media says they're violent.
Well, yeah, because they never report it when it's on the other side, or they downplay it. You know, we had several fiery but mostly peaceful moments during all these ICE protests across the country. But you have the media out there insisting, oh, you know, the riots only took place in a 2 square mile area of LA. That sounds like a pretty big area to me. Only 2 square miles of damage. I mean, we already, the early estimates are over $1 billion of damage just in LA. And luckily, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary under Trump, he's already said that these blue cities are going to receive zero money to rebuild from the ICE riots, since their mayors and governors are encouraging it.
Yeah. What else? We were a little bit late, so I guess it's 7:54, right?
Yeah.
Any other cool stuff I got in there that I threw at your way?
We got a few more videos still. We got another video of them playing the drums. Let's see what else we got on here. I'll run that real quick. I'll queue up another one.
That was the Picasso. So they have people playing drums and buckets and stuff like that. And, so for the leftists they're not watching our show, obviously, who said, oh, yeah, tough guy sitting in the car picking on a woman in a wheelchair, which I wasn't. And I don't sit in a car. I just happen to be on the way to Law's gun shop at the red light. And I yell out the window. So I go in the middle of all you little scumbag weasels by myself all the time. I confront Trend de Largo. I go inside their shelters. So don't think for 1 minute I'm like a tough guy sitting inside the car.
Yep. I did that wrong. That was supposed to be a picture of the holding the Mexican flag again, as one does. Yeah,
it showed for a second.
Yeah, I'm fixing it right now. I had it queued up as a video file by accident.
So there's mostly Mexican flags. The next one was the Palestinian flags, and the next one was the American flag upside down. And I think I might have sent you a picture.
Yeah, I got that.
2 guys that look like military. These guys look like ex-military. They don't look like a normal protester. I had a picture of their face, but I wanted to show you all the flags. And Indivisible, for those of you to follow this shit, Indivisible is highly funded. They're big in our area. They are now advertising for ex-military to join their organization, ex-military and their families. They're trying to recruit ex-military right now.
Yeah, and this is going ongoing as they're trying to find veterans. There's one that they got to speak at a rally in Austin. I don't know if it's Austin, Texas, somewhere in Texas. She actually got arrested because she misrepresented her service and a number of other things. I guess she was wearing a unit patch out there speaking at a political event, which is a crime under the Military Code of Justice. But they're throwing a hissy fit about that too, but it's not making the national news.
Oh man, I just noticed, hey, Severino, some of my hair grafts are sticking out. Yeah, so bushy, man. My Elvis hair is hanging out. There we go.
That's funny. Let's see if I got any other videos on here. Oh, I got the Power to the People video still. We'll roll that real quick.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people.
I swear it's the same disgusting people.
All power to the people.
It's not really.
Nobody is the people.
I was going to fall off on the right there. I was like, birthday. You're going to push me off.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. And to your point earlier, I don't see any American flags, not even upside down. It's just Mexican flags and a lot of people, the stupid Palestinian keffiyehs or whatever they're called.
So it's kind of funny, like that scene there. So when I got on top of that marble ledge, it was about chest high, on the shallow side, the lower side. And then as I walked, the garage started going down. So I'm like, oh wow, let me get up here. I'll get a great shot. So, I'm 63 now. I haven't ever do like a little hop skitch. You jump on and you turn your butt and you get on like a fence or something. So I'm like, I haven't done that in 30 years. It doesn't work anymore. I went up. I was like about my rib cage, and I'm like, oh my god! It's like, and I got my leg up. I look like a clown, man. I'm like, I can't fall back down. I'm like, I finally got out there.
Well, you know what? That's why we need more of you guys watching the show out there in the street with us.
Yeah.
So we can give Terry a boost up onto the marble platform.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't see if we have any questions. Do we have? Well, we got to be able to figure out how to start getting questions from X and stuff and some of those other platforms.
Well, yeah, if you guys
So-
are watching and you post something in the comments, we'll see it and we can answer questions or respond.
Yeah. So I think something happened. There was not a lot of riots. It's a good thing. I don't know why. I know they were prepared for it. They were ready for it. You know, the guy you saw from Tuesday had, you know, he had a knife. He had rocks inside his bag. They were, you know, they were trying to get the crowd riled up. And
Yeah.
I did hear it wasn't on video. It's some people saying stop that to him. You know. So what they do is they embed punk Antifa weasel agitators within the people that are not there to get agitated.
Yeah.
And that just becomes the mentality, just like January 6th, right? When people, you know, start seeing all these other people, and you had the Antifa guys that were doing the agitating. A lot of them were doing the agitating. The same thing they try to apply here. At, you know, start with the car and the spray painting of the buildings and stuff like that. And a good thing it didn't take off and create a lot of havoc and stuff in Chicago. But I did want to see Mayor Johnson and BJ Pritzker have it blown up in their faces, but I think they wanted it. I really do.
Yeah, well, I think the message, like we said earlier, I think it must have gone out early in the day, not to do anything, or not to get violent, I should say, because otherwise we would have seen more, because these aren't the kind of people that want to just have a peaceful evening protesting. They want cities to burn. So I think somebody funding it said, nah, this isn't a good idea. The optics are terrible. Now's not the time for this. But I also think they're paying attention to the polls. They're seeing, as the riots in LA started, immediately, you know, President Trump's support for mass deportations went up 4%. His popularity went over 51% again. So they know if they get out there in the streets and they burn down these cities, that they're going to lose everything in the 2026 election.
Yeah. So for Thursday, I might have a guy that was a cop in Las Vegas during that shooting.
Oh, nice.
In typical Terry Newsom fashion. So, you know, I work full time. I do this. I'm always like, I throw shit at Mike's lap at the last second. And then Mike's he's running the whole platform, right? And he jumped in to backfill while Paul's out. And oh, by the way, Paul did not quit the show. The Severino said that. He's having personal, and Mike is my co-host now. But Paul has to take care of his family, his children going forward. They're very young. He did not quit the show. Matter of fact, he's going to write for Gateway when he gets time. And by the way, Gateway Pundit has a two-part series coming out. Relentless Bill is writing on Joseph Severino. He's writing a story. Man, Jim Hoft is like personally involved. And Bill's going to call him. Bill's going to call Severino and give him a chance to comment.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Bill does great work over there at Newsmax and for Gateway Pundit now. He's a great guy. He's actually going to be on with me tomorrow morning. And we're going to be going over whatever else is developed with these riots. And we'll find out if Iran's still a country in the morning, because sounds like things are rapidly coming to a head there.
Yep. Well, thank you, everyone. And see us Thursday at 7:05 or 7:10. We're always ready, man.
We'll be on as early as we possibly can be, sometime between 7 and 7:10.
All right. Thank you.